They'll reset. Nowitzki again for the lead. Bang!
Mavs fans, what's going on? I'm your host, Jimmy Crowther, here for All Things Mavs. I know it's been a long time, and a lot of you guys are like, Jimmy, where'd you go? I've seen some of you comment, ask me if I died. Some of you asked if I was still even a Mavs fan. The answer to number one is no, and the answer to number two is yes. Of course, I'm still a Mavs fan. It's just been a while, a long time since I posted. Since then, I've moved, I've gotten married, and I got a new job that's not in sports. And so that's kind of why I haven't been posting for a while. And I know a lot of you guys probably don't care about why I'm not posting, and maybe you're not even glad that I'm back, but I am. And hopefully I'll be posting a little bit more regularly here on the channel, but we'll see. TBD. Obviously, this is a little bit more bare bones than the last time I posted when I had a nice little setup, the nice camera. Hopefully the camera's coming back, waiting on a couple things for that, and we'll just go from there. But I wanted to make sure I got some kind of video out in the new year, 2022, especially with the Mavs coming off of 2 straight wins tonight. Defeating the Denver Nuggets 103-89. I wanted to post a little bit about that, give you guys some kind of update because I know it's been forever. And so let's just jump right into it. Like I said, 103-89. Mavs are finally back over 500. They're sitting at 19-18. They've won 4 of their last 5, even though the majority of those games came without Luka Doncic. Tonight and last night when they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, they played without Kristaps Porzingis, who against the Thunder was out for rest, and then today it came out that he's actually out with health and safety protocols, so he'll be out for quite a while, which is unfortunate because it seems like right when we get all of our guys back, our second best player, or third best, depending on how you look at Jalen Brunson, is back unhealthy. But when he does come back, it's just going to be a nice little treat. The Mavs got the job done either way. Now, the Nuggets obviously have a lot of guys in health and safety protocols. They're obviously without Jamal Murray, who's still down with his injury that he suffered. And then tonight they started a lineup of Nikola Jokic, Facundo Campazzo, who I would just love to be a Dallas Maverick one day, Austin Rivers, Will Barton, and Aaron Gordon. So still some good players. I mean, Aaron Gordon would probably be, he'd easily be one of the Mavs' best players. Will Barton would probably start over a couple guys on the Mavericks. And then Campazzo, Rivers, they're an okay backcourt. And then obviously Nikola Jokic, the reigning MVP. That's who they started. And then other guys that played for him, JaMychal Green, Peter Cornely. Honestly, I could name probably 300 NBA players. I probably would not name that guy. He's literally only playing because of the health and safety protocols and everything that's going on with COVID. Vlatko Konchar, I'll probably mispronounce that name. I know a lot of you Slovenian guys are going to get mad at me, but I think it's, or Chanchar, excuse me. I know it's Chanchar. I watched him in the Olympic qualifier, but he went down with an unfortunate injury in the middle of the game. He played for him. Bol played for him. Former Maverick, former Texas legend Carlik Jones is on a 10-day. He played for the Nuggets tonight. Davon Reed, who's on his second 10-day, and then Rajon Tucker and Bones Highland also played for Denver. And then for the Mavs, let's get into the box score. I'll give it to you guys real quick. Like I said, this one's going to be a little bit more bare bones than my other ones. I'm not going to put up any graphics or anything fancy. I just want to make sure I talk to you guys, get a video out in the new year. Let's get into that box score. Your leading scorer, Luka Doncic, 21 points, 15 assists, 8 rebounds, also 4 steals. The Nuggets had 26 turnovers tonight, and Luka was a big part of that with the team high, and honestly, I think it was a game high. It was a game high, 4 steals tonight as well, and then 15 assists matching his season high. He went 6 of 8 from the free throw line, 1 of 6 from 3, although one of those was like a full court buzzer beater attempt that obviously was way off. He was also a game high plus 25 in the game tonight after, actually being the Mavs' worst plus-minus guy for a while, but he was plus 25. And then every starter tonight scored in double figures. The second highest scorer was Dwight Powell. I bet you didn't guess it if you didn't watch the game. Dwight Powell, 15 points, only 3 rebounds. I do want to say this about Dwight Powell, because if you follow me on Twitter, which even though I haven't been posting here on YouTube, I have been tweeting just as vigorously as always over the, since of the course of getting a new job and moving and getting married. Still tweeting just as much, just haven't been doing the video stuff. But you guys know Mavs Twitter just rags on Dwight Powell. And oftentimes it's warranted. And a lot of times I'm the instigator of that kind of stuff because he's not a good defender. He's not a good rebounder for his size. And, besides catching lobs, he doesn't do a lot of things on the offensive end of the ball that well. Tonight, he did. 15 points. He made a corner 3, which is becoming a very regular thing. He's a 40.7% three-point shooter on the year now. And honestly, his synergy with Luka Doncic is better than really anyone on the Mavericks. It's pretty obvious, big man wise. Because, and I saw a tweet, somebody responded to me because I tweeted that out. Somebody responded to me and said, well, Luka can get that kind of synergy with anybody. That's not really true when it comes to big men. I mean, Marquise Chris, yes, I'm a big believer in Chris. We'll talk about him here in just a little bit. But it's not just any big man. Dwight Powell, he has it with him. But then you look at the other two bigs on the roster besides Boban, Willie Cauley-Stein, who's still out with personal reasons and should be cut sooner rather than later, and then Moses Brown, who didn't play tonight, DNP coach's decision. Luka doesn't have that synergy with those guys. And that's not a knock on Luka. I mean, those big men are just not, in a position to do what Dwight Powell does. And Dwight Powell rolls to the rim well, and he can finish dunks. His spring isn't there like it was before the Achilles injury, but he can still play. Anyway, 5 of 6 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Enough about Dwight Powell. Let's keep moving on. Jalen Brunson, steady as ever, 13 points, although he didn't shoot the ball that well, 4 of 14 from the field tonight. He had a tough night, but still ended with 13 and hit a big 3 at the end of the game there to really seal Denver's fate. Also had 4 assists, 3 rebounds. He's just on an amazing tear right now. Should be in the running for most improved player, in my opinion. And starting with Luka, even there, that backcourt together, I'm so happy about it. I want that to keep up. And another thing about Brunson, and I know most of you are just like, just get through the box score. I can't. I'm going to stop and talk about everybody. The thing with Jalen Brunson is that, yes, he's starting with Luka, and yes, he should be starting with Luka because he is a starter-level player. He's the 3rd best player on the Mavs. Some nights the 2nd best player, and at times he's been the best player on the Mavs this season. But he should start with Luka. However, their minutes should continue to be staggered. If Luka's off the floor, Jalen should be on the floor. If Jalen's on the floor, Luka could take some time off, and they can also still play together. It still works. And then, contract-wise, we'll see what happens in the offseason. I'll probably make a video about that here sooner or later. But, again, he's a starter in this league, deserves to be a starter, and can carry the load when Luka's off the floor. 10 points for Maxi Kleber, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 huge blocks, both on Nikola Jokic. Maxi's second game back since being out for COVID. Man, he is just such a valuable defender. Dorian is probably our best defender in terms of just like wing defense and being able to hold his own against guys bigger than him. Maxi is pretty darn close, though. I mean, without Maxi on the floor, the Mavs would not have won this game. He was also 2 of 6 from 3, missed a couple, but Dorian, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. He was 2 of 3 from 3. He got into foul trouble again tonight. This is the second time in 3 games that we've seen him get in foul trouble. He had 5 in the third. I think in the third, 5 in the third quarter. So he had to sit out a lot. He only played 18 minutes tonight, but he still got the job done and did what he needed to do. Off the bench, the leading scorer was Reggie Bullock, who, listen, again, if you're following me on Twitter, I have ragged on Reggie Bullock since the beginning of the season. I have been ready to give him the boot and ship him out of Dallas because he has not been as good as he was supposed to be for this Mavericks team. But the last 3 games, since he's returned from COVID, have been amazing. He had 15 points tonight. He was 4 of 8 from 3, a 50% mark from 3 when he's like a career 40% shooter. That's pretty darn good. 2 rebounds, a steal, an assist, and he plays great defense. Man, he plays really, really good defense. His only basket that wasn't a 3 was the end of the third quarter. He took it 94 feet, got the rebound, took it all the way, and finished over, or really underneath Nikola Jokic for a fast break layup. Other than that, not a lot of production off the bench. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a tough night, 6 points, 1 of 4 from 3, but it felt like, I think Dalton Trigg tweeted it out, it felt like it was like 1 of 15 from 3. He had a big dunk tonight. That was huge. 1 block, 1 steal, 3 rebounds. 5 points for Sterling Brown. One of those threes kind of came in garbage time. He was 1 of 2 from 3. Marquise Chris, he only had 2 points. And then he also had a block. His minutes felt bigger than what the box score said. I mean, he was the backup big man tonight. He was the only backup big that played meaningful minutes tonight. And again, he's on his second 10-day contract. He can only get 3 before he has to be signed to a real deal. Now, I do think Dallas will probably give him that third 10-day when this current one expires, just to see if they can work out some kind of trade to ship out Willie Cauley-Stein. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And if they can't ship him out, you got to cut. I mean, I am a firm believer in the fact that you have to cut him. Again, this is something that I'll probably make an extended video on, but this just being my first video back in a while. If you're not following me on Twitter, you've missed it, but I have been an advocate for Marquise Chris to deserve to get that roster spot over Willie Cauley-Stein, who hasn't played since, I think, Thanksgiving. if not before that. I think it might have even been before that he's been out. So, last guy that missed this many days for personal reasons was Tyrell Terry, and he got cut in the preseason because of that. Not because of that, but because you couldn't see him on the floor and other guys were outperforming him. That's what's happening with Marquise Chris and Willie Cauley-Stein in my eyes right now. But remains to be seen. I don't make those decisions. I wish I did, but I don't. And then Marquise Chris, like I said, 2 points. Josh Green, 6 points tonight. One of those baskets came in garbage time, but another guy who I'm just super high on, the second-year guy. I mean, this is really like his real rookie season. And again, when he's on the floor, major plus on defense. The ball moves so much better when he's on the floor. He's a great rebounder, fastest guy on the floor. Honestly, he's probably the most athletic Maverick behind maybe Chris. Chris might be the most athletic. But Josh Green is he's playing really well. Ever since that Desmond Bane comment a while back about, hey, Dallas took him over me, he's been playing really well. And again, tonight, didn't do a lot. 3 or 4 from the field, though. Missed a 3. That 3-point shot still not there. But again, I'm happy with him. Frank Ntilikina, again, he was not originally, so he was questionable going into the Thunder game, and then he was available but didn't play. And then tonight he was available, and he had 0 points in 2 minutes of garbage time. I don't really know what's the deal with that because I feel like he played really well when all the guys were out with COVID. I would like him in the rotation. It's tough to say who I'd want him to play over. I mean, if Bullock's going to continue to shoot this way, maybe take some of Tim's minutes, but probably not because Tim's making a lot of money and he's better than what his numbers are right now. And I don't want him to take minutes away from Josh Green because I think Josh Green probably has a higher ceiling than Frank right now. Sterling Brown, maybe you take some from Sterling, but he's not getting that much anyway. He played 10 minutes tonight, so I don't know. It's a tough position for Frank Ntilikina. I'm a big believer in him. I love that we signed him in the offseason, and I hope that he continues on with the Mavs for a while, but it's tough to see where he's going to get minutes in this rotation. And this is without Trey Burke in the rotation, who, by the way, warmed up with the Mavs, even though he was out for health and safety protocols. Not sure what that was about, but we'll see. And then Theo Pinson, 2 minutes, 0 points, didn't score. He's on his second 10-day contract. I'd expect it to be his last 10-day contract. I was kind of in on him making the regular season roster his first few games, but there's no place for him. I mean, if Frank can't get minutes, Theo Pinson's definitely not going to get minutes. I still haven't figured this out if Theo Pinson is eligible for a two-way contract or not, because the Mavs have an open two-way contract to give since they cut Eugene Omoruyi, but Pinson, I still don't know if he's eligible. If he is, give it to him. If he's not, he's probably got to go. Give him a third 10-day if all these guys are still out, but if not, he's probably gone after the second 10-day contract. So anyway, again, big time win for the Dallas Mavericks, 103-89. They get back over 500 for the first time in a long time. Let's look at the standings real quick. They're currently sitting at 6th in the Western Conference, but the LA Clippers are playing the Minnesota Timberwolves as I'm recording this. However, Minnesota's up 18, about to go into halftime. So you're watching this, you probably already know what happens in that game. But if the Clippers lose tonight, Dallas is in sole possession of 6th place, and they're technically tied with Denver for 5th, but Denver is like right above them for some reason. I'm not really sure how this all works. I know there's a tiebreaker, and maybe the Mavs have the tiebreaker now that they've beaten Denver twice tonight. But again, big time win, especially coming off a big long road trip. You definitely want to get a win at home, and they did just that. Also, their defense was amazing, forcing 26 turnovers. You love to see it. And with the way this team is gelling, I know Denver was depleted, but with the way this team is gelling, I'm really, really excited to see what happens next for the Dallas Mavericks. Now, of course, their next game is going to be the Dirk Nowitzki game. Hopefully that gives them a little juice to go in and beat the Golden State Warriors, but I'm not really counting on it because Golden State is pretty darn dominant, but they'll play Golden State on Wednesday, and then they've got Houston, Chicago, which will be a tough game, New York, Memphis, Orlando, Oklahoma City, and Toronto. That is a stretch that the Mavs should take advantage of. I don't want to say who they should and shouldn't beat because, again, without Porzingis, everything's kind of up in the air. With COVID, everything's kind of up in the air, including COVID. And you don't know what's going to happen with this Maverick team. But going up against Oklahoma City again on January 17th, going up against Orlando, and then going up against New York and Houston, those are 4 out of the next, and Toronto. I'll even count Toronto in there. That's 5. That's 5 of the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 out of the next 8 that I think Dallas needs to take advantage of, especially when you play a tough team in Golden State. You're going to play a really tough team in Chicago, and you're going to play a really tough team in Memphis, of course, at Memphis, which is always difficult. But take advantage of those games, and hopefully this Mavs team can kind of get on a roll now that Luka's back doing what Luka does, and this team is hopefully back doing what they do as well. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and if you're still subscribed after all the time that I've taken off, I really appreciate you, and hopefully I can reward you with some more videos now in the new year, now that I'm settled in, now that I'm a married man, and I've got about a month and a half of marriage under my belt, and I'm settled into my new apartment, and hopefully we can get this a little bit more Mavs'd up than what you just see in the background. But if you haven't subscribed and you like what I'm doing, subscribe below. If you want to go follow me on Twitter, I'm up over like 32,000 followers on Twitter now, at all_things_Mavs. If you want to keep up with me on Instagram, at space_Jim_jam. That is my personal Instagram. You can follow me. I don't really care. I don't post Mav stuff unless it's on my story. But you can go see pictures of me at my wedding if you want to. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit me up in the comments section what you want to see me talk about more, what videos you might want to see me put out. Tell me if you've stayed subscribed, if you're a new subscriber. And then also weigh in on who you want the Mavs to cut if you want them to keep Marquise Chris, or if you don't want them to keep Marquise Chris. I want to know in the comment section below. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
John Terry, corner, Luka! How did he do it? How did he